Desgraciadamente para ti, hoy tengo un mal día.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight. KO. Final round. Fight.
Vamos acabar com isso agora.
You win. Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. KO. You win. Master.
And that permeates throughout everything in your life. I was living a life on a clearance rack. Okay? So now I changed that narrative. Once we realize and we recognize it's up to us, like you said, we are responsible for our own peace. Now, if I do not love it, I do not buy it. If I love it, no matter the cost, I claim it. And what that means is, even if I can't afford it at that time, I tell the universe it's mine and I will get it. So we can do this in so many ways in our life, and that's in, specifically in relationships, because a lot of us find ourselves settling for whomever comes into our life and makes themselves available to us, whether they are toxic or not, whether they are a piece of a man or a piece of a woman, begging for you to help build the rest of them and draining you. We settle for these things because we don't realize that we are living our lives on sale, that we are putting ourselves on clearance. So now, knowing that and taking inventory of those relationships and those bad habits, it's up to us to take the responsibility, like you said, Patrice, and say, I am no longer going to hang myself on the sale rack. I am going to put myself behind the glass case with all the other valuables so that when someone walks into my store, they know that there is a way that I will be treated and respected.
Woo! You preaching today, Miss Egypt.
You are hysterical.
Let me tell you, this is why it was so difficult for us to get on this freaking interview. You guys have no idea how many platforms and how the internet wasn't working, and we don't know what tools that I use every day, things that I use all the time. But that's how I know when someone is going to be a blessing to this audience. Like, that is exactly how I know, because there's no fight with some stuff when people are not, like, really ready to be raw and real and really give it to you the way the spirit leads. But when honey, woo, they mad Egypt woke up today. Okay.
You are funny, Patrice.
No, I am pumped because I know my audience and I know how much we need this, and I know how much, especially as an audience of predominantly women, how much we settle. Like, that is so true, how much we settle for things that do not serve us, things that the Lord did not put us here for, and we just accept the bare minimum. And that's why I'm so passionate about redefining wealth. No, like, to your point, no, I'm not a bargainista. No, I'm not going to spend 10 hours on Sunday to cut it from. When God gave me gifts that I can use to make more money.
And he wants us to live abundantly.
Yes. Yeah, I believe in abundance. I believe in an abundant universe. I believe that if God is on my side, like, who can be against me? All things are available to me. The possibilities are endless. And it's so sad, especially in communities of color, that we are taught to accept less. We are taught, and it transfers to every area of your life. It's not that it's just about, oh, I like to get a good deal. You like to be a good deal for other people. Yeah. Yourself. In the process, I was just sharing with someone on Instagram the other night that I sleep in nice pajamas. I don't go to bed in tattered clothing. I don't work out in tattered clothing. I don't clean my house in tattered clothing when I do clean. I don't, because I believe that I can always be operating in excellence. It's not saved for a special occasion. It's not saved if somebody else is here. So I want to impress myself when I go to bed. Whether my husband
and it's your divine right. It is your divine right to do so. You know, we tell the universe what we want for our lives by what we choose to accept on every level. And so you're absolutely right to do that. If you walk around in tattered clothing, then you're subconsciously telling the universe that that's all you need and that's all you ever want. And guess what? That's all you'll ever get.
And I really believe it goes into how we feel about ourselves, right? It's also a reflection of our worth. Like, this is what I'm worth. These holes in my shirt, these socks with these holes with my toe hanging out, like, this is what I'm worth. But then that transfers into the conversations that you even have to have with other people about how to pay you. About how to acknowledge how you're worth.
You just said something that really touched on, for me, a huge chapter in my life when you said it's about our worth and what we believe we are worth. So my sister and I, we grew up with a single mother, my mom, because my biological father was abusive and he was a drug addict. So my mother literally, when we were young, I remember I was about 5 and my sister was 4, she picked us up in the middle of the night and ran, left him. I remember this. And when he did get off drugs and when he did try to be a part of our lives, it was when it was convenient for him. I remember sitting in windows because he was supposed to pick us up on a certain day and he just wouldn't show, or the next weekend, okay, I'm going to make it up to him, I'm coming the next weekend, and he wouldn't show. But instead of holding him responsible because we were so young, we would get hurt so that when he did show, it was, oh my God, we were happy. We felt happy to get any little piece of him that he was willing to give us girls at that time. That's not the way it's supposed to be, but it did shape for me early on in my life to where I was, when I was younger, willing to accept any little piece of a man that he was willing to give because I thought that that was all that I was worth, because that was what I was taught from my own biological father from early on is, I will see you when I see you. I will give you the love that I think you deserve. I will give you, materially anything that I feel like I want to spare. And so what that does is it shapes us. So we have to be careful with our children too, what and who we allow in their lives. And if people aren't willing to be a whole part of their life, then they don't need to be any part of their life. It's an investment, and we're teaching them these things. And so it was not until my adulthood, Patrice, that I realized my true worth, that I realized that God put me here to live abundantly as he does us all, and that he wants the very best for us in all aspects of our life. And I had to really literally do, are you ready for this? I did a burial of my feelings for my father, where I put everything symbolically, and I wrote down letters and pictures, everything that ever hurt me and shaped that mentality in me about men. I put it in a box, and I did this when I was 32 years old. Put it in a box and buried it, and decided I was going to start new, and I was going to rewrite this chapter of my life when it came to men. And then after I did that, I started to visualize what type of man I wanted in my life, how he would treat me, how he would look, that he would worship God and he would know God. And I put this on my vision board. I didn't know his face, but I knew everything else about him. And that was when I was 32. When I was 33, I met him. And when I was 35, I married him.
That's easy. I have some things I need to bury. You just, oh my God. So I'm going to be sending you a random text with my burial ceremony. I'm serious. I'm so serious. That is amazing. Wow.
And it's not men for all people. It's not women. Maybe it's an addiction to something. But just because that's what had you in a hold and had you in a bind and was holding you back from your greatness at one point in your life doesn't mean that it always has to have that stronghold on you. That's not all of it's the devil. Let's just be clear. It's the devil. Just like God knows our heart's desires, he listens in on our prayers as well. He knows your weaknesses as well. And the way to combat that is to recognize it and win anyway. Be successful anyway. Yes. Woo.
Oh, I love you even more. We're not, okay, I have to keep going. I haven't even got to faith.
All right, I'm talking too much. Go ahead.
No, you are not. You are blessing and healing at the same time. And I just know in advance what a blessing this is. Oh, my God. So, Egypt, you have an opportunity, and it's funny, you're so in tune, right, with just energy and the importance of faith, which obviously lends to all that you do in real estate and with HGTV property versions and flipping versions and now urban oasis. Girl, you're working, you're doing your thing. So what are your thoughts, or how should I ask, it's really like you get to go into so many different spaces, right? How do you even cover yourself? Because everyone's energy is not the same. Just because someone gets casted or selected for one of these shows or one of these opportunities, like how do you manage that going into all these different spaces and the energy that comes with it?
Well, I stay prayed up, number one, and I pray for discernment and clarity more than anything. I love people, and loving people doesn't mean that you love only people who love you back. It means if you love people, you love them through their pain, you love them past their pain, and sometimes past their ignorance. And I believe that we are all more alike than we care to believe. We all want to be appreciated, loved, we all want to be at peace, we want to be fulfilled, and much of what we consume feeds our lower level vibration of ego, right? And so recognizing that, I try to put energy into the universe that encourages everyone just to live a little higher, to vibrate a little bit higher. And even if I see that you're in pain, and like I said, hurt people, I have trained myself so that my reaction is not to come back to you with more of the same. Instead, it's hard to keep beating up on somebody who is not fighting you back, who's just loving you. It's hard to keep talking about someone who's not talking about you, but every time you do something, they forgive you anyway. And it's not, because what you're doing, what someone else's actions are, it's not about us, it's about them. It is a perfect reflection of the insecurities that they feel inside, or whatever they're going through inside. And instead of dealing with it, they push it out, and they push it out onto other people. But if someone can hug you through it, love you through it, talk you through it, laugh you through it, then the dynamic changes. Instead of being caught up in a cycle, change the dynamic by recognizing it.
That's so good. How often do you see people and I know you're usually helping people search for their homes and stuff, but even when you guys go check out, like, where someone is found, you know, before their apartments or whatever, how often do you run into people who are dealing with a lot of clutter? Like, do you ever have to, like, counsel people, like, hey, you're going to have to get this together before...
Well, I think you can tell where people are in their lives by how their house looks on the inside, because you can have someone who walks out in their cute little red bottom.
The audience of predominantly women, how much we settle. Like, that is so true, how much we settle for things that do not serve us, things that the Lord did not put us here for. And we just accept the bare minimum. And that's why I'm so passionate about redefining wealth. No, like, to your point, no, I'm not a bargainista. No, I'm not going to spend 10 hours on Sundays cutting coupons when God gave me gifts that I can use to make more money. And
He wants us to live abundantly. Yes.
Yeah, I believe in abundance. I believe in an abundant universe. I believe that if God is on my side, like, who can be against me? All things are available to me. The possibilities are endless. And it's so sad, especially in communities of color, that we are taught to accept less. We are taught, and it transfers to every area of your life. It's not that it's just about, oh, I like to get a good deal. You like to be a good deal for other people. Yeah. Yourself. In the process, I was just sharing with someone on Instagram the other night that I sleep in nice pajamas. I don't go to bed in tattered clothing. I don't work out in tattered clothing. I don't clean my house in tattered clothing. When I do clean, I don't, because I believe that I should always be operating in excellence. It's not saved for a special occasion. It's not saved if somebody else is here. So I want to impress myself when I go to bed.
And it's your divine right. It is your divine right to do so. You know, we tell the universe what we want for our lives by what we choose to accept on every level. And so you're absolutely right to do that. If you walk around in tattered clothing, then you're subconsciously telling the universe that that's all you need and that's all you ever want. And guess what? That's all you'll ever get.
And I really believe it goes into how we feel about ourselves, right? It's also a reflection of our worth. Like, this is what I'm worth. These holes in my shirt, these socks with these holes with my toe hanging out, like, this is what I'm worth. But then that transfers into the conversations that you even have to have with other people about how to pay you. About how to acknowledge how you're worth.
You just said something that really touched on, for me, a huge chapter in my life, when you said it's about our worth and what we believe we are worth. So my sister and I, we grew up with a single mother, my mom, because my biological father was abusive and he was a drug addict. So my mother, literally, when we were young, I remember I was about 5 and my sister was 4. She picked us up in the middle of the night and ran, left him. I remember this. And when he did get off drugs and when he did try to be a part of our lives, it was when it was convenient for him. I remember sitting in windows because he was supposed to pick us up on a certain day, and he just wouldn't show, or the next weekend, okay, I'm going to make it up to him, I'm coming the next weekend, and he wouldn't show. But instead of holding him responsible because we were so young, we would get hurt so that when he did show, it was, oh my God, we were happy. We felt happy to get any little piece of him that he was willing to give us girls at that time. That's not the way it's supposed to be, but it did shape for me early on in my life to where I was, when I was younger, willing to accept any little piece of a man that he was willing to give, because I thought that that was all that I was worth, because that was what I was taught from my own biological father from early on is, I will see you when I see you. I will give you the love that I think you deserve. I will give you, materially anything that I feel like I want to spare. And so what that does is it shapes us. So we have to be careful with our children, too, what and who we allow in their lives. And if people aren't willing to be a whole part of their life, then they don't need to be any part of their life. It's an investment, and we're teaching them these things. And so it was not until my adulthood, Patrice, that I realized my true worth, that I realized that God put me here to live abundantly as he does us all, and that he wants the very best for us in all aspects of our life. And I had to really literally do, are you ready for this? I did a burial of my feelings for my father, where I put everything symbolically, and I wrote down letters and pictures, everything that ever hurt me and shaped that mentality in me about men. I put it in a box, and I did this when I was 32 years old. Put it in a box and buried it, and decided I was going to start new, and I was going to rewrite this chapter of my life when it came to men. And then after I did that, I started to visualize what type of man I wanted in my life, how he would treat me, how he would look, that he would worship God and he would know God. And I put this on my vision board. I didn't know his face, but I knew everything else about him. And that was when I was 32. When I was 33, I met him. And when I was 35, I married him.
That's deep, Egypt. I have some things I need to bury. You just, oh my gosh. So I'm going to be sending you a random text with my burial ceremony. I'm serious. I'm so serious. That is amazing. Wow.
And it's not men for all people. It's not women. Maybe it's an addiction to something. But just because that's what had you in a hold and had you in a bind and was holding you back from your greatness at one point in your life doesn't mean that it always has to have that stronghold on you. That's not all of it's the devil. Let's just be clear. It's the devil.
Yeah.
Just like God knows our heart's desires, he listens in on our prayers as well. He knows your weaknesses as well. And the way to combat that is to recognize it and win anyway. Be successful anyway. Yes.
Woo. Egypt. Oh, I love you even more. We're not, okay. I have to keep going. I haven't even gotten to space.
All right, I'm talking too much. Go ahead.
No, you are not. You are blessing and healing at the same time. And I just know in advance what a blessing this is. Oh, my God. So, Egypt, you have an opportunity, and it's funny, you're so in tune, right, with just energy and the importance of space, which obviously lends to all that you do in real estate and with HGTV property versions and flipping versions and now urban oasis. Girl, you're working. You're doing your thing. So what are your thoughts, or how should I ask? It's really like you get to go into so many different spaces, right? How do you even cover yourself? Because everyone's energy is not the same. Just because someone gets casted or selected for one of these shows or one of these opportunities, like how do you manage that, going into all these different spaces and the energy that comes with it?
Well, I stay prayed up, number one, and I pray for discernment and clarity more than anything. I love people, and loving people doesn't mean that you love only people who love you back. It means if you love people, you love them through their pain, you love them past their pain, and sometimes past their ignorance. And I believe that we are all more alike than we care to believe. We all want to be appreciated, loved, we all want to be at peace, we want to be fulfilled, and much of what we consume feeds our lower level vibration of ego, right? And so recognizing that, I try to put energy into the universe that encourages everyone just to live a little higher, to vibrate a little bit higher, and even if I see that you're in pain, and like I said, hurt people, I have trained myself so that my reaction is not to come back to you with more of the same. Instead, it's hard to keep beating up on somebody who is not fighting you back, who's just loving you. It's hard to keep talking about someone who's not talking about you, but every time you do something, they forgive you anyway. And it's not because what you're doing, what someone else's actions are, it's not about us, it's about them. It is a perfect reflection of the insecurities that they feel inside or whatever they're going through inside. And instead of dealing with it, they push it out, and they push it out onto other people. But if someone can hug you through it, love you through it, talk you through it, laugh you through it, then the dynamic changes. Instead of being caught up in a cycle, change the dynamic by recognizing it.
That's so good. How often do you see people and I know you're usually helping people search for their homes and stuff, but even when you guys go check out, like, where someone is now, you know, before their apartments or whatever, how often do you run into people who are dealing with a lot of clutter? Like, you have to, like, counsel people, like, hey, you got to get this together.
Well, I think you can tell where people are in their lives by how their house looks on the inside, because you can have someone who walks out in their cute little red bottom, you know, great designer pocketbook, hair done, makeup done, but when they go home, they're living like they're living in a slum. They don't care about how they live. I'm talking about dishes piled up to the ceiling in their sink and dirty clothes from the time you enter the door, and then they still let you in the house because they don't see anything. They don't see anything wrong with it at all because they've been living with it for so long. That's the norm. That's the baggage. That's that stuff that they're carrying with them, and why nothing that they touch turns to gold, because they have to deal with the issues in their lap first. And I see it all the time. There was one, I was selling a house in Noonan, Georgia, and I went to her home to see, and this is a woman who was a single mother. I went to her home, and she had kids' toys and clothes just kind of everywhere. Now, usually that's, you know, I'm saying, oh, she's probably just exhausted. You know, this is a mom who's working like crazy. She just needs a little extra help. And the more I talked to her, the more I found out that her son did not live with her. He lived with his father. They were divorced for a year and a half, and her daughter was no longer living. She died in a car accident, and the mother was driving the car. And so these things all over the place in her house had been there for literally like 3 years, because her daughter died 3 years before, which is why she and her husband divorced, because she just still couldn't deal with it and handle it. And so the son was awarded to the husband because mom wasn't stable. So as I'm walking in her house, and I was passing judgment on, ooh, she's just tired, she needs some help, let me get a cleaning lady over here. You know, I found out that this was all, everything was emotional for her, and she couldn't get to pick it up. She just couldn't allow herself to put her daughter's clothes and toys away. She couldn't pick up her son's items off the floor. She couldn't pack those books away to prepare her house to sell it, because packing it away meant dealing with it. Putting her daughter's clothes and stuff into the garage meant that she was, to her, it meant that she was betraying her dead daughter. And so when you start coming into those type of environments and seeing that dynamic, you know, it just I think it allows me innately to recognize the physical manifestation of hurt sometimes and how people live in it.
That's exactly what we say at Redefining Wealth. I'm always talking about the fact that clutter is a physical manifestation of some type of chaos going on in your mind, like something that's not settled, some type of pain, trauma, hurt, something you just don't want to deal with for many people. And a lot of us watch shows like Hoarders, and we pass a lot of judgment, and we sit there, you know, in disbelief, like what is wrong with these people, but there's always a backstory.
It starts somewhere. Yeah.
There is some hurt.
And you get to the root of it.
Yeah, but I tell my clients even too, and people who take my courses, I'm like, don't sit at home and judge the folks on Hoarders and think that all these little piles that you have in the closet and under the bed and these junk drawers and all this stuff, just because you can hide some things, because a lot of us are hiding what we're dealing with. And it looks, like you said, very pretty on the outside. Might be a beautiful home, beautiful facade. We come in, we can't see it, but you open those closets and you know what's going on. You know what's going on in the garage.
On the flip side of that, Patrice, on the flip side, sometimes someone can be so OCD where everything has to be perfect and everything has to be clean because for them, it puts on the appearance that everything is okay when it's really not.
Oh, that's a good point, Egypt. That is a really great point. I've never thought of that from that standpoint. Oh, do you run into that much too? Have you seen that in person?
Yeah, I have run into it. I don't necessarily recognize it at first because you don't know if that's them or if that's a cleaning lady sometimes. But I like I said, I love people, so I observe. I'm very observant. Usually when people meet me, I'm very quiet because I'm taking it in. For that first time, I'm trying to figure out who am I meeting? Who am I really meeting? Now, who is this representative they want me to meet? You know, what type of person are they? What's their aura? What kind of energy? What do they say? Because what people say is very telling. What they choose to highlight, like if you're around someone a lot and everything that comes out of their mouth is negative, they chose to speak the negative instead of positive. And, you know, am I around someone who speaks life, who finds that the glass is always half full, or someone who finds that the glass is always half empty? And I like to find that out and really evaluate the person, especially in business, because that helps you determine how to deal with them as well.
Absolutely. Oh, Egypt, I could talk to you all day. I feel like now I'm really going to feel like you're really my BFF in my head. Well, this series was really all about results, not resolutions. And you're always posting just great ideas for beautiful spaces. And I love when you do, like, the interior design posts, especially, like, I've been saving things. You are one of the people who made me excited, actually, that Instagram went to having sections. Or, you know how you can save things to a little folder back there?
Yes.
Instagram. But you were one of the people who made me excited. I was like, ooh, I can go save all these rooms that he just posted on Instagram. I love beautiful things.
That is funny.
So I want for people who struggle with clutter or struggle with organization or someone who's looking around their home right now and they're going, oh my gosh, everything that I got was when I was in my bargainista phase, like you just said. And this is not necessarily anything that I love or doesn't represent who I am right now. What are some, like, practical steps people can take to really just improve their spaces? Like, how can they get creative? How can they maybe reuse some of the stuff they have? I don't know. What are some of your ideas on how they can really get some results and improve their space this year?
Well, I think it depends on where you are in your life, number one, and really what you have at your fingertips. Because if you want to be drastic, considering we are going to go into the new year, and if you want a brand new start, I would say go room to room, pack it all up, and then only put things back that you need or love in each room. And that's a fresh start. It's going to change not only the energy of your house, but it's going to change the vibration of your life by doing that. Think about this. We are visual people. And so what we see and how that incorporates into our life, honestly, just like energy transferable, that visualization helps drive you forward or hold you back. So if you're surrounded by things that you don't need, you've not used in 2 years, you forgot it's even in your house, if someone put it in a box and gave it to you again for Christmas, you wouldn't even recognize that it came from your house. then you don't need it. Get rid of it because that's carrying energy as well, right?
Yeah.
That's if you want to be drastic. Now, if you're someone who says, I just need a change, I want to declutter, I'll tell you is what I tell all of my home sellers when we get ready to list their house on the market. I say take 2/3 of everything on your bookshelf, everything in your drawers, everything in the room, 2/3, and put it in a box, put it in storage or in your garage because we do not need more than half of the stuff we surround ourselves with. Simplicity, to me, simplicity helps drive success. The more simple our lives are, the more simple processes of getting from A to Z are, the more successful we can be. But when everything is just blocking your mind, it's like think of a sink and water's in it and there's a plug at the bottom. It's blocking the water's ability to flow down, to flow through. So take that plug out, which is really junk and stuff that we don't need, and let it flow. Let the energy flow.
I love that. You know, simplicity is my word for 2018. It's my husband. It's our word for 2018, and we are even downsizing. Because we were like, moving everything. Because our whole thing was we had a 6,000 square foot home back in the day, foreclosed in the recession, ended up living in a 600 square foot box in random Metairie, Louisiana. And we went from this 7-figure business to scraping up change in 2009. And did all this stuff working, thinking that we were working our way back. You know, we have this idea like, no, I'll know that I did it when I'm back. When I even live back not too far away from where we lived before in Southern California now. And the reality is we got here and we've done so much work on ourselves and on the pillars that I teach my community about that we're here. We've been here almost 2 years and we realize we don't even want this house. Like, we love it. It's a beautiful home. Right? But we are like, it's okay. It's okay to not want that. It's okay to want to use the money to travel the world together and keep taking our daughter on international trips and, you know, just going to do other stuff that actually matters to us, being able to give. Experiences over material things. Yeah, the experiences. And we were like, wow, even with all the work that I do, when he wanted to get this house, I was with it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely love it. It's beautiful. And then, but once we've been in here now, we're like, we want to be simpler. Yeah. We don't really need all of this. I don't need to be cool. There's a $5,000. Y'all nailed it. Y'all nailed it because a lot of us, we work ourselves into a trap and don't even realize it, meaning the more money we make, the higher prestige we get in our careers or in business, the more material stuff we then want to attain, and then the more material stuff we want to attain, the harder we have to work to maintain it, and then the harder we work to maintain it, the more we have to attain, and then the more we attain, the harder we work to maintain it, and then the next thing you know, you're at this place where maybe you do have a big house or some big car, you got some big bills, and you can't stop or slow down to hear your calling or to realign with spirit because you can't, you don't have time. You got to keep grinding to maintain it. It's a trap. And so it sounds like you and your husband, you know, have figured that out, that listen, if you want the big house, you can have the big house, but what's more important? What's the real priority? And I say, you know, I recognize this in 2016, but it's still going to be my motto going throughout 2018, which is experiences over things, people over materials. Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited. So that's why I need you to keep posting pictures, though. I'll be you're funny. I've actually, this week I went silent on social media because I wanted my daughter to have all of me. You know, I'm usually working so much and, you know, she's home from school for the holiday and I wanted her to see my face to actually, you know, be able to spend some time, I love that, and I've been doing social media breaks too. Latham Thomas, Mama Glow, I interviewed her, and we talked about just digital detoxing and reading her book, On Your Glow. And I do it every other weekend. I just take all of the apps off my phone. And from about Friday afternoon through Monday morning, I have no connection to social media. And guess what? I never miss a doggone thing. Nothing is worth it. It's always there. It's always there, and I enjoy my family so much. So kudos to you. Well, before we get out of here, I usually do some little redefining wells. We call them just rapid wisdom questions. And I'm going to ask you a few things and just tell us the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, sure.
All right, the first one is, how do you define success?
Wow. I define success with a 5-letter word, peace. When you can go to sleep at night with no regrets and wake up with no doubts.
Oh, that's good. There's a lot of tweetables in this episode, you guys. Better be writing down. Okay. How do you define wealth in 3 words or less?
3 words. Love, fulfillment, and balance.
That's good.
Notice none of them had anything to do with money.
Hello. You know what we do here. Money. I love it. And fulfillment is one of the big things for us, because I really believe people mismanage money, not because of anything but lack of fulfillment. Financial mismanagement is so connected to lack of fulfillment, so I love you said that. Okay, what's one book that has redefined how you see wealth?
Oh, goodness, just one book? Well, I'll say anything from may he rest in peace, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and from Joyce Meyer. I can't say just one book because there are so many.
Yeah, no, I love both of them, though. That's good. And then we're going to fill in the blank here. My name is blank, and for me, the truth about wealth is...
Okay. My name is Egypt Sherrod, and for me, the truth about wealth is that it has nothing to do with money itself, but everything to do with the freedom to live our very best lives.
Woo! Yes! I love it. Thank you, Egypt.
Oh, absolutely. This was a great, it didn't even feel like an interview, Patrice. I can't say interview. It's just a great conversation. It's a really great one to have. I do so many interviews, and, really it's usually, it's the basic stuff. It's about your book. It's about your TV show. But this is what really matters. I think these type of conversations help change lives. And so I really appreciate, you inviting me to be on your show. You're doing a really good thing, and you're definitely in line with spirit. So thank you so much, and continue to glow and grow, girl.
Aw, thank you, Egypt. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. And I said this, I don't know how many times throughout, but I know that so many people will be blessed because of your authenticity and just your spirit and your energy and how you show up. Just thank you for being you, girl.
Oh, thank you, Mama. You have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, okay? Call me if you need anything. You got my number now, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Egypt. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See, I told you I don't lie. I don't lie. Egypt did not disappoint. I have listened to this over and over again since the day we did the interview, and I got a different nugget every time. Money will not feed your soul. You don't want to be in a cycle just to maintain stuff. And what did you guys think about what she said about ways that we can clean up? Like packing up the room and only put back what you love. That's what I'm in the process of right now. I really want you to head over to patricewashington.com/listen. Oh, I keep forgetting. I got fancy. It's actually, it's redefiningwealthpodcast.com. And find this episode, and I want to know 2 things. If you took a look around your space right now, what does it really say about you? Does it really represent where you see yourself? Like what you see for yourself? I've thought about, at times with my office, you can listen to Are You in a Money-Making Space? And I said to myself at different points, is this the space of someone who wants to be a nationally recognized best-selling author? And several years ago, no, it wasn't. And that means I had to clean it up. I had to clear it of clutter. I had to get it together. So if you are in that place where where Egypt really stepped on your toes, and you have to make some changes, I want to know from you, what are you going to implement based on what she talked about? And then I want to ask you to go and listen to Are You in a Money-Making Space? I'll make sure that we link to it in the show notes, because it all comes together. It all comes together, and I so believe her simplicity helps drive success. Clearing out that clutter helps drive success.
Round 2.
So I hope it was another great episode for you. Please make sure that you give us a review. The ratings are great, and I thank you for so many 5-star ratings. But I love reading your feedback too. I love stumbling across your comments on iHeart or even on Spreaker or Podbean. I've seen some stuff. It keeps me going. It keeps me pumped up. And I have to say this really quickly before I close. One of my favorite quotes is, "No good deed shall go unpunished," right? And if you're anything like me, just trying to live your best life out here and be a blessing to others, it doesn't mean that that doesn't come with hate, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with trolls and people who are just trying to get you off path, like trying to distract you, right? And so a lot of people out there will say you just have to ignore the haters, you have to ignore them. But you guys, we're all human. And the reality is, for all the good work you try to put out there, it does make you feel some kind of way when people say things that you know aren't true and that just aren't nice, just completely mean-spirited. So while you can push it aside, or I'll speak for myself, while I can push it aside over and over and over again, there's some days when you're already in a funk or you already feel discouraged, and it is disheartening. And the thing that combats that is those of you who are willing to say, you know what, keep up the good work. It's not that you need that constant validation, but let me tell you, on a day where you've been attacked, it helps. So you never know, not just for me, but any of the podcasters that you love out there. Anyone whose content is really helping you make progress in your own life, don't be selfish. Don't just keep consuming the content and then going on about your day like it's nothing. Share with other people. Don't keep us your best kept secret. Don't make us your best kept secret. And don't not tell us, because sometimes the encourager needs encouraging. And so I want you to go to Egypt on Instagram and let her know that you heard this episode and tell her how it blessed you. And I would love for you to leave a review and just let us know, let other people know that this is a show that's actually helping you be better and do better and have better in the area of your finances, but really your life overall. Can you do that for me? I would so appreciate it. So let me, stop preaching. But I truly would appreciate it for all the guests. Any guests who have been on Redefining Wealth: Yvonne Franklin, Sherry Riley, Latham Thomas, Brandy Harvey, Paul Brunston, Dr. Brad Clunk, anybody. And if I left anyone out, I'm sorry, but go and let them know that their work matters and that they have contributed something to your life. Can you do that for me? I sure would appreciate it. All right, until next time, I want you to go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever chasing money. Talk to you later.
Round 2. Fight. KO. You win, Master.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm just practicing and listening to podcasts to keep me in a positive state to begin the day. Thank you and have a great day. Love and light, go to